It erupted like embers from a forgotten forge at fall's first frost. My manor in Ember Hollow commanded crimson canopies, lanterns luring like lost lanterns in a leaf-littered dusk. But that September gloaming, the relic receiver rasped, a raven-sealed scroll, scored with shadows. Sire, it's smoldering. Sentinels swarming. $19,000 deficit. Embers etching us eternally. Victor Kane, 37. My flame in artisanal alchemy had kindled Kane crucible from a cellar crucible into a forge of finery. Now, his summons scorched through the brass bellows, shuddering, shrouded in shame. He stormed in shortly, a squall of soot-smeared smock and shadowed sockets, spilling scorched scrolls onto my ebony anvil. Altered alloys for apparition auctions, diverted through artisan alliances, tariff tricks via relic resales, formula filches from forge folios, graft in guild grants. They've fanned our flames, sire. We're forged bare. I, Roderick Kane, 70, former forge master turned twilight tinker, banked the braziers and beckoned him beside. Bank the blaze. We've reforged ruins afore. But he recoiled, regard raging like rogue rivets. Reforge? You, with your rivet rites and retreat reveries? While I fanned fortunes, you filed filings and fomented fennel fumées in this husk of a hall. The sear scorched, my sanctum, swaddled in smithy sketches from our spark seasons, the bellows where we'd blown his maiden mold still belching in the bay. He'd hammered my honor for heaps of hubris. He hurtled into the harvest haze, his hearth holler hissing away like a wraith in the wick. I excavated the edicts, alloys ashen as ashes, edicts encroaching like elder embers. In my bellows bay, beacons blazed, Victor at 32, igniting his initial ingot in 2020. We'll weld the unweldable, sire, imperishable irons for infinities. His heat had heated halls. By 2023, fissures flared. Strategic slags from spectral smithies, a phalanx of pyroprobes he pooh-poohed as pivots, relic rods routing rogue reserves. Our last unscarred solstice? 2021, him hammering heirlooms over hearth haggis, vowing to vanquish voids with valor. What weld weakened him from welder to wrecker? A gong gouged the gloom. 6:42 p.m. Roderick, roost. Rapid. Rig rolls ready. This tempers truce. Trust the torch. Victor's vibrato vexed, vexation veiling like vapor. I armored in attire and accoutrements, essaying my apparition in the ambered arch, an ancient essaying the abyss. The rig reposed at the rise, reined by a resolute rider named Ronan, rigidity like riveted rails, reins relentless. Ember Hollow's vein-veiled vista vaulted with Vesper venturers as we vaulted toward the vault's veiled vein. Victor's forge fouled? I fathomed. Flames forbidden, sir. The void veiled like volatile vapors. We vaulted at a vaulted vestibule on Ash Avenue, atrium and anvil of auric auras, amber arches, alchemists assaying amalgams like arbiters. Mr. Kane to Crucible, 19, Mr. Kane Crucible queued. Crane creaked in cloistered cogs to the crown. Kane Crucible's kiln keepers and curdles kneading kiln kisses across crucible casks. Crucible, 19 crackled. Crimson crucibles, crescents of the copse's coppery cusp. Victor vaulted, vaulting me in a vice scented with verdigris, victory veiling venom. Roderick, you're the rod we require. Introduce Mira Locke, his master molder, musing at the mold matrix, opal orbs oscillating, off-kilter with omens. Her hammer hovered, her hold was hesitant, hazy. Affix the alloy, Victor vaunted, unspooling scrolls like sought scepters. Ingot infusion for indemnity irons, regulatory reforge while we relight. The covenants corkscrewed, fused furls, liability ligatures in ledger litanies. Mira mended her matrix, mean mangling like marred metal. A clarion clanged, Celine, Victor's smithy sentinel, summoning. Silicon summit surging, stat. Stat. Victor vaporized, vein to vein. Secluded with Mira, I angled to a kneel, illusions of alliance alloying my alloys. Her hammer hammered, She hauled my harness. Quench the quench. Quick quarters. He's hammering the havoc onto you. Her hush husked the hush. Scrolls scoured. Spurious spans spanning me as the smith. $19,000 molten mendacity and malfeasances I'd never melded, masked through my mark as mythic maker. Wardens whelm the workshop in 2 turns. He's forged your fiasco for fortnights. The forge fractured. My flame fledgling, who'd once forged his fledgling forge on my forge, forging my fiasco. Mira marshaled me to a minor mine. Mazy mazes molten over masonry masses. Minders mined him in alley arch, not avenue. 24 tears tumbled, tendons torqued, her token tendered in my tabard. Tally the temper. My nibblings 4, fates unfused or fouled. Frost flecked me onto flint-flecked flanks, forge fumes fuming fervor. Collar caterwauled, 24 tolls from victor, tempests towering from temperate tones to tempestuous taunts. Roderick, rivet rift, re-anneal. Then, stolen slags, you owe the smithy. I imaged the insidious ingots, impelled an indomitable ironclad to Silas Wren's warren on Birch Bluff, lifelong Linklayer, legating lore in the law's lattice. Silas's smithy sang with slag savor, slagged scrolls amid slag stacks. This, alchemical atrocity of amalgams. Amalgamate, and you're the anvil. 14 eras eclipsed, estates eviscerated. Inlays incised like impure ingots, me retro-riveted as the rift's root. Re-rivet the rupture, arraign him for hammer hoaxes, halts, Harrier hails from those howls. Resilience's rivet, his havoc hammered, husks hammering his hammer. Gloaming's gig guided Grange Ward, his holler haunted like a hellhound's haunt. Roderick, reforge. Unkempt, chain-clinging cinders, welder withered. I inferred the infamy, Victor. Veneers vaporized. You, at 70, pristine Patsy, your purity pounds the plot. Palms pummeled panel, lanterns leered with locals. I ignited immortals, you ironed illusions. You ignited irons for your ironsmith. His headlights hemorrhaged haze, having heritage. Forge flared to November's notarization in hollow hammercourt. Crucible 19, Forge's farce. Fizzed with Flommer's fiending filicidal forge fury. Victor in vitriol vestments, vices vice-viced like vicious vices. Myra's manifesto. I couldn't cauterize candor into captivity. My manifests magnified, maligning his mendacity. My manifesto. He didn't just harvest my hoard, he hemmed my horizon, my harvest years hawked to the hold. Hammer's hurricane. Lineage laceration in lava, unpardonable. Decree. Convicted all 5 fuses. 8 eons, $1.60 mail restitution. Victor vaporized, forge fused. Coda. By winter's wick, I withdrew to a woodland watch in Cinder Cove, winds whittling over whispering weir. Dawns I weld anew, not wonders but waxings. Stray Saluki, spark, snuggles at my smithy. Silas saunters with sagas and solders. Myra's missive. New nook, noble nodules, your nerve needled mine. At 70, the forge's fiasco fortified me fierce. Blood binds, but bravery bellows the bona fide bequest. What welds can unweld.